Yeah. So welcome everyone. We were on week 2 of prayers and meditations by the mother, part 4, and we had decided that maybe we can share our reflections on the prayer of January 10, 1914. So, and it was on purpose that there was not any associated talk with it, so that we can have our own so-called, original intimate reflections. So, yeah, so I would request first, one by one, you can just begin to share your reflections on these, the prayer of January 10. And then after that, I'll request Shreya to share the prayer that she has chosen, to share her connection and resonance with that prayer. So, who would like to go first? Anyone, please go ahead and start sharing your reflections.
I'll go.
Yeah.
So, some things that stood out for me, I've just written them down, I'll read them. So, basically, from this prayer, like some phrases like aspiration rises towards thee. Like, somehow, mother uses that a lot, right? Like, of course, what else is there to aspire? I was about to say expire. So, childlike form, ordinary simplicity. Like, there's so much beauty in childlike form. There's so much beauty in being ordinary. And, it's like the one who's ordinary always is kind of wants to be special, and the special lot of times we have seen crave for the ordinary. So it's a very interesting dynamic. And then simplicity again, there's I feel a lot of beauty in simplicity. Then the call is ardent, the will is concentrated. It's like when we mostly call, it's like, okay, something has happened, and then somehow, then a call becomes ardent. It's not like throughout consistently, it's an ardent call most of the time. The will also, there's so much that catches my attention, that the concentration of the will also changes from time to time and situation to situation. But again, it's a beautiful reminder. And then she says it's not intellectual. So again and again in Mother's prayer, we are reminded that how things are beyond the mind. And the law is not our regular law, it's a divine law. So I personally find that very beautiful. And after that, there was this true light and true purity. Otherwise, light and purity, we can take anything as light and purity. But again, the point is, make it true. And then sincerity and love. I think these are the 5 things that mother had wished that she aspires for, I think, all. So true light, true purity, sincerity, and love. And all this for all. I really liked when she said multitude constituting my being. Like, how I take myself as one. And of course, like when you read more about, how she kind of say talks about peace and stillness, how she wants to, bring it to each and every cell of her. So the multitude that constitute my being and the universal being. So again, it's really interesting that, how personal thing, and we always keep mostly fighting for our personal upliftment, personal peace, personal stillness. But nobody who has ever, I don't know what to call it, like a saint or a mystic or a master, has always made it like very clear that it has to be all or it's none. And this was really sweet when mother says, I know it's useless to implore thee. So many times when we do things or ask for things, we can see the, uselessness of those things or those wishes or those desires. And yet, I'm there, I don't know. It's very interesting how knowingly also you do that. And how we were discussing in yesterday's Kabir session, this can either be taken at, oh my god, what to do with myself, or one can just laugh about it. So that was beautiful. And then inaccessible summit. Like I again like this word, that how knowing, we know it's inaccessible, like how they say, it's a gap, and yet you have to develop your patrata, you have to show your patrata towards something to rise from where you are. So again, inaccessible summit and unceasingly scale. And then believe we have seized, like again ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ मिल गया, like this is it, like yeah, I am doing much better, this is it. But with unexplored depths and immensities. Yeah, so no, I think that this was like that. We think we have. It's like I think how Rumi says that the farther I go, the more I go. I don't know. The farther I go, the farther I see I am. Further, not farther. So again, the more I feel I'm becoming one with the divine, or I'm closer to where I was. There are still unexplored depths and immensities. And lastly, no one can say, I have known thee. All carry thee himself. Like nobody, like again, this was, I think, maybe, I don't know, yeah, so no one can say, I have known thee. And yet all carry thee in themselves, and in the silence of their soul can hear the echo of that word. So overall, a very beautiful prayer. These, and very, I don't know, very simple, and again, like most of the prayers, relatable, because what mother mostly talks about, it's so real, it's so like, it's, I don't think it's possible that it hasn't touched, or it, like that it's not an experience of most of us. So yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm sorry, this time I just written the things rather than talk more, but yeah, that's it for me. Thank
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
actually, the first thing, no, my aspiration rises towards the ever the same in its almost childlike form, so ordinary in its simplicity, as Tarush said, because uh, just now when I was reading this, I felt like that actually. Because if we get a full aspiration, I myself I will feel elated sometimes actually. Oh, aspiration is there. It is very good, but how mother is expressing her thing, it is very ordinary and simple actually. So those two things touched my heart actually, and also something childlike within me finds a support in this mental attitude. Yes, this resonated with me actually, because it is like a child we will call mother, no, for the support. So that I can resonate with that. And also that no one can say I have known thee, and yet all carry thee in themselves. It is a very beautiful word. And also in the silence of their soul can hear the echo of thy voice, but this silence is itself progressive. Yeah, as Taru shared, all the masters and saints, no, those they attained, but they didn't keep it themselves. They are spreading it to people, and also want all the people to share that joy, inner joy. No, so that reminded, this line reminded that thing actually. It is progressive. And also the last one, but all these words we used to speak about, they are only idle talk. Yes, because
you.
in Tamil also there is a saying, Kandavar Vindilar, Vindavar Kandilar. So who all see, they can't talk. Who all talk, they have not yet seen that that word is there actually. So grant that I may become thy faithful servitor. Yeah. This is the thing I just
Yeah.
now I have gone through the prayer. Yeah, just
Yeah.
this
Beautiful.
one, this ordinary and simple, no, this only touched me.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Who would like to go next? Shilpi or Shreya?
I will just share this that I mean, I tried going through the prayer, first two paragraphs, but I couldn't really stay with what was being said. But the last line really uh, stayed with me. I mean, that sort of stood out for me, that all these words we used to speak about thee are only idle talk. Grant that I may become thy faithful servitor. Somehow for me, this is what stayed with me, and yeah, I don't think I can
Yeah,
give any more words to this. It's
yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone? Any comments or any? I think Shilpi hasn't shared. Shilpi, would you like to share now? Any reflections on this prayer?
Hi, Monica. I don't have anything to share right now, but maybe towards the middle or end of the call, I'll share.
ठीक है, okay. So although all of you have already, beautifully, starting from Taru, Chitraji, and Shreya, have shared the essence of the prayer. But these words are so deep, that uh, we can just go on, just like, a small prayer. And then Alukda gives a 25 minutes, 30 minutes of a talk on that, those lines, few lines. So we can go on and on in just like as Taru shared, one who cannot be known, and yet we go on describing and trying to understand that one or our own self. So let us maybe go again over them, see maybe there is anything else that comes to you in between, and unmute and share, and I will also see what can be there. So ever the same, you were describing my aspiration rises towards thee, ever the same. This is also very interesting. Ever the same, we want change in life, we want variety in life. But here mother is saying that my aspiration is ever the same. And what is the same thing? What is the quality? It's almost like, it's almost childlike form, childlike. It's like it has an innocence about itself, this aspiration. It's not very eager or demanding or expecting. It's more innocent, whenever we talk about a childlike trust, a child just knows that if I need, it will be provided, right? So that's what I think mother also shares, that the biggest, the beautiful attitude that one can have on this path of surrender is a childlike attitude, that if I really need anything in my life, would not it be granted by the mother who knows me the best? And लेकिन हमारी हालत ऐसी होती है that we keep on craving, thinking that oh my god, maybe, what happens if I don't receive it, what happens if things in my home don't get better, and all that, what happens if my disease doesn't get better. And the very fact that we have so much of skepticism on this path can also be a beautiful observation to realize that why is there so much of doubt when I know that the mother is there, when the divine is there, and if I am on the right path, I will be shown the way. But the thing is that we usually know somewhere earlier in our journeys that we are not on the right path. We somewhere know that we are actually living a life too selfish, too limited in our agendas. And that's why we have this fear and anxiety that what if my prayers are not granted? So that is something, and so if we all can and we all have this childlike innocence, it's not that we have lost it, we all have that in some or the other degrees. So if that's a really beautiful thing that comes up again and again in prayers and meditations, to have a childlike faith which is so ordinary and simple. Now you already stressed upon it, but it is so beautiful that Kabir also, Kabir ji talks about sahajta in life, simplicity in life. And we all want to be somebody, है ना? If we look at our relationships, if we look at our lifestyle, we will see that we are wanting to be somebody, कि मैं भी कुछ हूँ. Either we want to say it as that I am very little, feeling victimized, that is also wanting to be somebody, or I want to say that I am something, listen to me, that is also wanting to be somebody. So both way we are actually in a trap. It feels like when I'm being victimized, I'm not in a trap, but that is also a trap. So if we can gradually develop, or not really develop, it's already there, we can actually, we have to slowly let go of the sophistications, complications that we have in life, knowing that they are not serving us well, knowing that they are not really benefited me so far. And then slowly maybe one can unmask the childlike ordinary and simplicity, and it is nothing special. It's not that I will be shining out in the middle of the crowd owing to the fact that now I am childlike and ordinary. Not like that. It's so ordinary and simple that it's very easily also to ignore, but somehow it is so attractive also for people who are observant, that this attracts, this childlike innocence attracts. So much of faith attracts. Yeah. Yes. And then mother focuses on, yes, please share. Who wants to share?
Yeah, so I, once read it somewhere that, how the society or our family or the world first put stuff on us, right? Like names and designations and relations. Like that's how it goes. That pehle we put, and then say a guru or the literature, like the texts, they do the job of uncovering, like you were saying, they
Yeah.
like first you add, like this is like the whole circle, and
Yeah.
then you say not this, not this, not this, you're not
Yeah.
even that. So it's like quite beautiful and seems silly, but seems like how things usually at least work with us right now, that how it's unbecoming. First you put
Unbecoming. Yeah.
on and then you let go if
Yeah.
you're lucky. So,
If you're lucky. Yeah. Beautiful. And mother says, behind the faltering words, there is a fervor of my concentrated will. Now, this is also very beautiful. That many a times in other prayers, also, mother says that no matter if the expression is inarticulate, if I don't really know how to put it in words, what I really aspire for, to be faithful servitor or to be more and more truthful in my life, no matter if it's articulate, it does not matter. Mother says there is all the fervor of my concentrated will. So I don't want anything in life but this, but the path. Now, this is where we can also check ourselves from time to time. Many a times we think that we are on the path, and all we want is truth in our life and peace and happiness. But many a times we also see that all we want is not truth and happiness. All we want is, may my will be done, may my will be done and not thine. This is what we have been wanting at many secret moments. And in those moments, peace and happiness delude us. They even run further away from us. So that is where we have to catch our dishonesties, that in this moment, what am I truly wishing? Am I truly wishing for truth and honesty and simplicity? Or am I wishing that my will be done and not thine? So there one is again and again brought down on knees, and is shown the truth like in a mirror. Yeah. And again, I think you shared naivety of this expression, that is hardly intellectual. It's not of the mind, it's not of the the usual way of the reasoning and rational thinking. It's coming from somewhere deep within me, huh? I implore thee for more true light. So there is no end to this more true light. One can never say that I have now the maximum light possible. That is the beauty. I implore thee for more true light, true purity, sincerity, and love. Now, this is what is sincerity, that I am able to catch my own dishonesties on the path. That I know that right now I am actually wanting that my wish must be fulfilled, whether it is in alignment with the truth or is good for everyone or not. This is the insincerity we have to keep on catching throughout the life. And love is most transformating power. If I really love me and myself and my relationships, I will actually not be obeying all the blind demands and expectations in relationships, because that is neither hitkar for me, neither fruitful for me, and nor also for the other people in my relationships who are demanding and demanding and demanding. because all this is serving by obeying their demands is their ego. And if I am massaging somebody's ego, it is actually not good for that person. No matter he may be hurt a bit, no matter he may be moody a bit, but it will not be good for that person. So if we can take this stand for ourselves and others in love, that I will more and more align myself for whatever is fruitful for me and you, then sooner or later it will be revealed that, that is the right action or decision taken. Yeah, and all this for the multitude constituting what I call my being. As Taru was sharing that अगर एक सेल में लाइट आ गई है तो अब दूसरे सेल की बारी, दूसरे सेल में लाइट आ गई तो तीसरे सेल की बारी. So there is never ending shedding of light on the multitude that we are. We look so simple that this is the body and this is the boundary, but really, the depth of the being is ununderstandable. Such is our depth. Theories have come, philosophies have come, years after years, eons after eons, thinkers have come, and yet it stands undescribable. So that is the multitude, and for the multitude constituting the universal being, and universal being is not dissociated from the individual being. So mother talks about these aspects of the divine, the transcendent, the universal, and the individual. They are all connected. It's not that there will be a shine of transcendence in my individual, and the individual suffering will also be reflected in the transcendent, so that it wants to do something about it. So they are all connected. And if we see that it appears actually very philosophical, the aspects of the divine, transcendent, universal, and individual, but they are not really that ununderstandable also. I think one can get a glimpse there, that imagine that you have an ocean, and this ocean is not an ocean which is definable ocean. It's a vast unending ocean. Now if I have a glass and the water that I fill in the ocean, that is the individual aspect. Now the universal aspect is all that is in my realm of vision, all that is possible for me to understand, for understanding or grasping, or that is in touch of the senses. That is the universal aspect. So I can go further more in that ocean. And the transcendent would be that which cannot even be seen or fathomed. So it's all the aspects of the same universe, same infinite ocean of being. Some part is fathomable, some is a little bit understandable, and some is beyond understanding, and they are all connected. So there is a fluidity in these aspects. Yeah, keep sharing, whenever you have anything, keep sharing. I implore thee, though I know that it is perfectly useless to implore thee. Now why would mother say that? I want to ask each one of us. Why would mother say that I know that it is perfectly useless to implore thee? Please share if anything is resonating here.
Because it's already, actually it is inside us, that I know that it is perfectly useless to implore thee, because that is inside us already,
Yeah.
That, yeah, it means that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
useless to implore.
Anything more? Anyone?
Yeah, I was reminded of this, that, how in the beginning it feels like it's everybody else's fault that my life is not perfect, or I'm not at peace, or how we always feel that the onus lies outside and things have to be changed outside or somewhere else for me to dawn new, I don't know, something new or whatever. And then you realize that it's, you are the one who's holding on. You are the one who wants to stay in chains or behind bars and say that, oh my God, what to do? I am not free. So I think a similar thing I felt here, that I am the one who has to actually, I don't know, find it for myself. Or where is that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, here. Yeah. perfectly, I know that it is perfectly
useless to implore thee, for we alone in our ignorance and ill will stand. Like, how you had once written, Monica, that the more I break, I see I am the wall around myself.
Yeah, yeah,
So again, the same thing, that it's me who has to actually break the wall. So
yeah,
yet you ask for grace and help. So that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Anyone else on this? Why is it mother saying that it's useless to implore thee? And mother knows it very perfectly that it is useless, but I will still implore. Yeah, okay. So, in absence of anything, any more comments here? Yeah, right, Chitra ji and Taru, you shared it so beautifully, both of you. You know that more and more we go through life and understand it, we realize that yes, in actuality, I am the one. So there is no other divine standing and looking at me and saying that, hey, child, do this and do that. So there is no separation like that. And somewhere we begin to understand it more for us when we realize that, as Taru also shared, when we realize that I am the one standing in between my freedom and my truth. There is no other person standing. I may blame it on relationships, I may blame it on my life situations so far, but that is only my hidden manipulation of not taking the responsibility of going forward in my life. Because if one really wants to have freedom in life, if one really wants to have exploration in life, one will have to be responsible for each and every aspect of one's individuality. But we are mostly not ready to be responsible, yet we want to crave for freedom. And in that, it's very easy to put the blame on either situations or any other divine that is standing somewhere else on the mountain. So first, as Chitraji shared, that we realize that yes, it's within me. Where is it anywhere else? It's not separate from me. So what is the idea of again and again taking out a mic and standing on the top of a mountain and shouting, hey divine, listen to me, while it is inside me? And second, that I am the wall. I am the wall of rigidity, my rigid mental opinions, my rigid emotional melodramas, who stop me from tasting again and again this nectar of divine truth. So once this realization becomes a part of life, we see that yes, now it's okay. I'm not suffering as I was suffering 2 years ago, because I realize more and more that as this veils of ignorance will be shed, I will be again and again, connected deeply with my own essence, which I already am, but I can't, maybe have that taste at many times. Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to
Yeah,
share?
Monica, yeah, this
Yeah.
also reminds me of a conversation I had once had, like that person had read the Gita and I don't know the Ramayana and stuff, and
Mm.
basically he was very bitter. And he was
Yeah.
like, like the Gita clearly says that it's just his will that does everything. So, basically it's his fault that I'm where I'm here and
Yeah.
I'm not somewhere better and I have not maybe united with, the God. So it
Yeah.
was like the only thing that I got out of Gita was bitterness, that if it's
Yeah.
all is in your hand, then
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing here, it's like
Yeah.
it's so amazing how there's no end
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
our
Bilkul.
blames and stuff
Bilkul.
outside so that I remain. I remember how
Yes.
Shilpi had also,
Yes.
mentioned when she had shared her prayer that
Mm.
how we keep going towards purity, right? Like our
Mm.
definitions of purity and darkness. And like I think I am dark, so I'm blaming him who is so pure
Yeah.
that, if you are so pure, why am I dark? So it
Yeah.
was beautiful
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I think if one really wants to talk about it to the fellow that you were talking of, that कि अगर वो कर सकता है और वो ही करने वाला है तो मेरी ये हालत क्यों है, हाँ? सो उसमें ये भी तो है ना, गीता में कहीं ये तो नहीं लिखा हुआ कि मैं तुमसे जुदा हूँ, मैं तुमसे अलग हूँ. उसमें भी बार बार यही इस चीज पे ही स्ट्रेस है that we are one with that essence. There is nowhere in Gita where it is read that that essence is something separate from me as an individual. So there again the onus will come upon myself, but again that I don't want to take the responsibility first of all, क्योंकि उसके लिए हिलना पड़ेगा, और उसके लिए ये भी है फिर मेरी कहानी का क्या होगा.
उसमें भी actually we did have a discussion somewhere here, but there the answer was that I do not feel that oneness, and it's on him to make me feel that oneness, because as Geeta says कि तुम्हारे करे कुछ नहीं होगा, तो मैं कुछ एफर्ट भी करूं तो उसका क्या होगा, तो इससे बेटर है कि मैं यहाँ पे बैठ के बस I so that
देखो
was
तरु, इस पे भी बात हो सकती है. देखो अगर आप कह रहे हो कि वो कह रहे हैं कि तुम्हारे करे कुछ नहीं होगा, है ना, तो इस पे ये बात कर सकते हैं कि भाई तुम तो ऑलरेडी इतना कर रहे हो, क्या ये बिटरनेस करना नहीं है?
नहीं, दैट वाज द बाय प्रोडक्ट कि अब मैं और कुछ नहीं कर सकता, तो चलो अब ये तो मेरे को फील हो रहा है आउट ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन. हाउ इफ वन डजंट वांट टू सी, इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू either it just happens that you see. If you try to show, it doesn't.
Actually the wall of resistance is so real and strong. That उसकी कोई अंत ही नहीं है कोई. जैसे अनंत का कोई अंत नहीं है, वैसे इसका कोई अंत नहीं है. That's true. Thank you. And then mothers.
I wanted to share.
Yes, please.
I implore thee, though I know that it is perfectly useless to implore thee, for we alone in our ignorance and ill will stand in the way. So, like you guys are sharing, I feel like it's a journey, like Taru was also mentioning, from the point of saying everything that's causing me pain is outside me, to start to see that, okay, there's something wrong. Right?
Shilpi, your voice is cracking very much. Your voice is cracking too much.
Okay.
Can you do something about it? क्योंकि कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा क्या बताना चाह रहे हो. हाँ बोलो. Are you sharing, Shilpi, or? अच्छा, क्या लिख रहे हो? I will change the connection and rejoin. Okay, fine. Yeah. So when I think just I'll take 1 minute since Shilpi wants to join again. So we were going on here, but something childlike within me finds the support in this mental attitude. So mother is wanting to say that yes, I know that there is no really need to call for thee or implore thee, and yet something in me feels very comforted in this calling. And that has been the journey of human evolution, when we talk about virha or yearning, or wanting to be one with the divine, knowing that I am one with the divine, and yet again and again I say that I don't feel it. So let me just implore the divine, let me just call the divine. So that there is something comforting about that yearning or this wanting to call. Shilpi, you want to share again? शिल्पी एक बार फिर से ट्राई कर लो, अगर कर सकते हो तो. If you can try to unmute and share again.
Hello, yes, is it better now?
Better, much better. Please speak. जल्दी जल्दी बोल दो. Yeah. हाँ.
And I would just say that in those lines, it feels like the sort of the previous stage where we are just blaming outside in ignorance, and then the current stage where we are saying that okay, the reason lies within me. But my point is that even after we are saying that, I can see, I find myself there again and again. And my point is that if it was here and if it was within my power, as it is being said here, it if it was within my power, I would have seen more proof, more evidence of my conscious power acting on it and kind of working on it with the force that I want it to. Right? Because I feel like this is also the other side of the game that's going on. Sometimes I feel like that. Of course, there are reasons that, okay, long conditioning, blah, blah. Even now, I don't want, sometimes I'm so indulged in rasa and all of that. But I feel that that was a game and this also is a game. And it just comes up very strongly sometimes, and the other times it doesn't show its face. So I just wanted to share it out aloud in the group for no other reason, just for the sake of kind of clearing my head of what was going on. Yeah, that is what I wanted to share, Monica.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shilpi. Thank you. आपकी बात सुन के मेरे को just a kind of a child walking came to my mind, that when a child learns to walk, है ना, काफी बार मैंने देखा है जैसे छोटे बच्चे चलना चाह रहे होते हैं ना, दे आर वेरी एक्साइटेड टू सी समबडी एल्स वॉकिंग. एंड होता क्या है कि उसको देख के मन करता है, नॉट इवन वॉकिंग, इवन फॉर एग्जाम्पल समबडी सीज समवन प्लेइंग पियानो वेरी नाइसली, है ना, कोई मे बी एक्सपर्ट बैठा हुआ है पियानो बजाने वाला, और उसको बच्चा देख रहा है, तो एक अंदर से ना बड़ी ईगरनेस डेवलप होती है कि ओ माय गॉड, व्हेन वुड आई बी एबल टू प्ले लाइक दैट, व्हेन विल आई बी एबल टू प्ले लाइक दैट. एंड देयर इज दिस वाइटल रश, दैट काइंड ऑफ ईगरनेस दैट डेवलप्स कि मेरे में क्यों नहीं है वो बात जो, अगर ये इतनी आराम से हो सकता है. बट एज यू वर शेयरिंग दैट इट इज अ जर्नी, एंड नो डाउट दैट इट इज अ जर्नी, shedding off these veils of ignorance and knowing that the power lies in me, no matter how many times I feel helpless. मुझे लगता है कि अगर इसकी प्रक्रिया को भी देखें, हाउ टू लर्न टू play a piano so called, well, there also we see that we falter so many times, we fail our own expectation, that अच्छा मैंने सोचा था 2 मिनट में पूरा पीस बजा लूंगा लेकिन नहीं बजा पाया. And even the so called experts in piano, they would always say that I wish I could be able to do maybe more. So there is no end to this, as in the coming lines also, there is no end to this conscious development of the being. We may have images about this conscious development कि अगर मुझे really में पता होता कि मैं वन हूँ डिवाइन से, तो मैं शायद ये कर सकता होता. These kind of images come to us. But I think again, it's expecting too much from a child to who is learning to walk, to say that maybe you run a marathon. And owing to the fact that the whole game, as you were saying, that yes, this is also a game, the whole game is about from ignorance to consciousness. And that is the fun, because when I see that yesterday I was faltering, today at one moment I did not falter, so that is one pat on the back I can give myself. And maybe 2 days after I can fall down again, so that then I can laugh about it. So I think this is the joy of the journey itself. Sometimes it appears that there is nowhere to reach, but the journey, the fun of the journey, the amusement of the journey. तो कभी कभी ऐसा भी लगता है कि हमारी इमेजेस हैं कि अबाउट द डिवाइन, और व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग व्हेन आई वाज वन विद द डिवाइन, जो हमें बीच बीच में आइदर दे मेक अस टू ईगर, और they make it too hopeless, just kind of
Monica, don't you feel that earlier there was an attachment to, like the example you said for the piano or something? So this earlier there was an attachment to, oh, somebody can do it, I can't do it, and when would I be do it, right? So that was the attachment, that group of thoughts. And now, let's say we are in the process and the child is walking, and 1,000 hours of piano practice is needed, and I've done 20 and I see changes, and I am now attached. Oh yes, yes, I'm seeing changes. I'm seeing changes. So in both the situations, I feel that I am. Earlier, I was 1,000 steps away, or maybe I was not even agreeing that I was 1,000 steps away. I was just wailing. Now I am saying that, okay, I'm 800 steps away. But the point is, I am still very much being attached to the thing that it will take 800 more steps. And I'm kind of being, I'm locking myself in that prison again by attaching to those thoughts, and maybe it is needed. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that I sometimes see the fault even in the position I feel like I have worked really hard to get into.
समझ रही हूँ. Yes. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean to derail. I know the prayer, but
No, not at all. There is no derailing ever, Shilpi, ever. So please don't even think about that. I'm happy that you shared. Yeah, not at all. Yeah. When Shri Aurobindo can talk about thesis and antithesis, where he says that people having two opposing point of views, when you actually begin to bring them together, you will see that there is a synthesis we can make. And this is nothing in front of, what Shri Aurobindo has synthesized in his synthesis of yoga. So, yeah, I think this expands us more and more, all the points of view which may seem opposing in nature.
So Monica, then one more feedback.
बिल्कुल, हाँ.
When mother says above that, childlike, and that this not being what it should be, like this is not intellectual, this is not, she uses those words. And I feel like who within the childlike quality is really absent. Otherwise, who is saying it's not intellectual enough, it's not pure enough, and I want to get to the purity? I feel like that really the childlike quality is just saying, I want thee, or and kind of just ending there. But this whole thing of I am not pure and I want to be pure, and it's not worthy of you what I where I am. All of this is not really childlike.
बिल्कुल बहुत सुंदर beautiful. That's really very nice, Shilpi, what you shared. I think it's a child. If we actually look at a child, he would not have any images about himself that I am dark or I am light or I am pure or I am impure. And yet a child is forever progressive. That is the quality of a child. An infant is forever progressive. No matter how many falls, there is only one thing, that he is at progression. He does not even know that he is at progression. That is the beauty about it. Now, with adults, what happens is, first of all, I label myself as impure. Secondly, I see something as pure. I have an image about this is what purity is. And then the journey starts from impurity towards purity. And I feel I can resonate with that too much, that it's all a game of the mind, that it's as if that I am dreaming, and in the dream I am first of all calling myself as unworthy or I'm impure, and then in the dream only I have this image of purity where I want to strive towards, and which definitely is not childlike. Why? Because a child first of all would not have images about the progression. And I think here I really resonate what you said, that there is a, as if there is a graying that is there. It's not completely childlike. There is also an adult here who is naming and imaging, making images about and labeling. And that's why the game of running from impurity to purity then comes. But if we look at from the matter of point of child, a child is without knowing progressive. आप बच्चों को देखो, अगर उनको पता भी नहीं होता कि वो क्या क्या करना चाह रहे हैं, बट वो करना चाह रहे होते हैं. He does not know that. They want to learn mostly, I have seen what I have seen and encountered and observed, that children by themselves, left to themselves, they want to learn, they want to know, they want to falter, and then they want to expand their horizons, unless slowly other things like fear, anxiety, they start to creep in from the world also and from their own mind. So this progression, which is also a landmark of the spiritual path, again we are using very adult terms here, and pardon me for using those. uh, this progression that is there on the spiritual path, that is actually from, अगर हम adult की तरह देखें तो वो image by image projection हो जाता है कि कल मैं वहां थी, आज मैं वहां हो गई, क्योंकि एक adult की memory बहुत तेज हो जाती है, उसकी स्मृति बहुत तेज हो जाती है, वो कंपेयर करता रहता है बार बार, पास्ट में कहाँ था, अब कहाँ पे हूँ. बच्चे के साथ ये है कि उसको नहीं पता कि कल वो कितनी बार गिरा है, लेकिन उसको ये भी नहीं पता लग रहा कि मैं आज कितना पहुंचा हूं, कितना सो कॉल्ड आगे पहुंचा हूं. उसके लिए all is a flux, and in flux he is settled, he is stabilized in the flux. So that is, I think, what I would like to add on to here. And again, if you have anything at any point, unmute and share. It's good to have contrasting viewpoints. Yeah. So I think I'll just go ahead in absence of anything. O inaccessible summit, which we unceasingly scale without ever reaching thee. Now, for those people who would not believe in the concept of divine, Mother would say you can call it perfection. No, you can call it progression. Why? Because life is progression. Whether you want to believe in it or not want to believe in it, life is progression. Time is progression. And here it's like अनंत, अज्ञेय, वो जो कभी जाना नहीं जा सकता, वो जिसके बारे में कभी समझा नहीं जा सकता, वो जिसको कभी ग्रास्प नहीं किया जा सकता, that which is ungraspable. Because by definition, if I am able to grasp divine, if I am able to grasp any image of truth, then I will be just holding on to an image. I will not be able to hold the infinite in my finite hands, right? So by very definition, the scale is unceasing, owing to the fact that this is infinite that we are talking of. If it was finite, तो आज चली और 10 जन्मों के बाद पहुंच गई, after 10 lifetimes I have reached, I can say you have reached, there is nothing more to do in life. But even for people who are so called evolved, even for avatars, we see that they have so much to do in life, they have so much that they keep on progressing upon. So there is this unceasing scale, and here the point of groundedness comes, humility comes. How? Kyunki agar, if I have to say travel the path from impurity to purity, let us call purity as divine for a moment. If there are infinite rungs on the ladder, how can I say you are at level 0 and I am at level 100 when there are infinite steps of ladder? Then the number game does not matter at all. Only progression matters. Why progression matters? Because it is joyful. It brings delight in our existence. That is why progression matters. And for those of us who do not take any delight in progression, for them let it not matter. But there is no one who would not take delight in progression. ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो admit नहीं करेंगे कि मुझे progression चाहिए life में. But even then, we would see that in many cases when they are expanded or feel widened, they have this inner joy that springs up in the being. So this inaccessible summit is the path, that we go on and on and on and on, sometimes knowing that we are going on and on and on, and sometimes like a child who does not even know that he is going on and on and on. Just for the joy of progression, we go on without ever reaching thee. And that is what we call as the unending path of surrender. And the moment I see that I have found, immediately you escape us. In the other lines, Mother says, immediately I see that you escape me. अभी तो लगा था कि जान गया, अब अगला लाइफ का एक्सपीरियंस बता रहा है कि अरे कुछ नहीं जाना. अरे अभी तो लगा था कि एक और चीज पता लगी. Now the next dark challenge tells me अरे कुछ नहीं पता लगा. So this is how that it's a never ending kind of beautiful journey. Yeah. Any comments so far?
Yeah, Monica, in your last thing, I was reminded of that the lady who had shared that quote from what she had written in a session, that my joy is in my longing. You know, like
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
exactly it was. That's what I just fulfills me. My
Yeah.
longing for you fulfills me. I think
Yeah.
that's what she said, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we are always kind of illusioned that there's a
Huh.
destination, right? Like I have
Destination.
to, there's a crossing over, there is a
Yeah. Yeah. And here, I think some of you were sharing in the beginning that those, I think, yeah, Chitra ji was sharing. No one can say, I have known thee. Because the moment I say I have known thee, there would be again something which I would be not knowing. So if I cannot ever claim that I have known my true self, I would not be able to claim that, because the true self, the true the facets of our own being are so many that they are unending in nature. So this claim is impossible. No one can say I have known thee, and yet all carry thee in themselves. Now this is the paradox of truth. जहां भी सत्य की बात होती है वहां पे एक पैराडॉक्स की बात होती है. पैराडॉक्स क्यों? क्योंकि वो समझ नहीं आता. क्योंकि अगर समझ में आ गया तो वो फाइनाइट हो गया. If I am able to really understand something, it means that that thing is really finite. But truth by definition is infinite, right? So although I carry truth in me all times, and the truth is there all the while, yet I am not able to say that I know truth. Why? Because it's never ending in nature, is inaccessible, unending. And in the silence of their soul, they can hear the echo of thy voice. It's not that you cannot get a taste. In the silence and stillness of the being, and even if you're in your own day-to-day understandings of life, you do get a taste. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें पता नहीं लगता कि ये कदम सही दिशा में लिया गया है. पता सबको लगता है. बट ये होता है कि अगले ही पल एक और कोई नया पर्दा आ जाता है सामने, क्योंकि पर्दा तो उतना ही अनंत है जितने डिवाइन अनंत है. क्योंकि पर्दा कहां से आ रहा है? द पर्दा भरम ऑफ इल्यूजन इज ऑल्सो कमिंग फ्रॉम द डिवाइन. सो इट शेयर्स द सो कॉल्ड प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द डिवाइन विच इज इनफाइनाइट. एंड दैट इज वाई माया, जिसको महाठगनी कहते हैं, इट इज नेवर एंडिंग इन नेचर. आई कैन नेवर से आई हैव अंडरस्टूड नाउ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ माया. Right? Why? Because that is also coming from the same divine which is ununderstandable. So how on earth can I understand Maya? Right? How on earth I can understand ignorance? And then this silence that we taste in the depth of our being, Mother says that this is also ever progressive. Silence is not does not have only one taste. कि एक बार चख लिया, done, खत्म. अरे मुझे तो पता है silence क्या होती है. Not like that. So that's also ever progressive, never ending. The depth is never ending. But this silence is itself progressive. And whatever be the perfection of the union we have realized, as long as we belong to our body or the world of relativity, and that is what Kabir says, साधु तब तक भय करे जब तक पिंजर में सांस. I would never be able to claim that I am a done game now. I have achieved perfect union. Why? Because as long as the veil of the body is there, as long as we belong to the world of relativity, this union with thee can always grow more perfect. This is the beauty of this never ending adventure. you know for a person who loves to adventure, for a person who loves to have the joy in knowing and unknowing, it is not a disappointment. But for a person who is looking towards the means to an end, that I want divine so that my goals are reached, that person will be disappointed. And that person must be disappointed because the quality of mind remains the same. It's the same seeking mind that we had in the material world, and the same seeking mind enters into the सो कॉल्ड स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड कि ये दे दो ताकि मैं कह सकूं कि हाँ मुझे मिल गया, ताकि मैं एक तमगा लगा लूं अपनी शर्ट पे, एक मेडल लगा लूं कि हाँ मुझे मिल गया, मुझे प्रभु मिल गए, है ना. सो दिस गेम is has not changed then, and the whole idea, it seems as if, is to change the very quality of the mind slowly. That it's not a mind which is forever demanding and seeking something as a means to an end in life, because then we exploit. If I am using my relationship as a means to an end, then I will end up exploiting the relationship. Just like when I am using my child as a means to an end, बच्चा क्यों पैदा किया, ताकि वो बुढ़ापे में मेरा सहारा बन पाए. I will end up exploiting the child. So whenever I am indulged in this game of using life as a means to an end, I end up exploiting the world. And we have the whole global scenario in front of us, where we have exploited earth for our menial demands. But all these words, as we used to speak about thee, are only idle talk. There is why idle talk, and I feel I can empathize with why Shreya shared that I resonated with so much, because somewhere you see that, oh my God, I have read so much, I have really talked so much, so many workshops, everything has been done, and yet I feel this is so idle talk. How long shall I keep on talking about it? When will it, come to my true life, my existence? And it's a beautiful inspiration, intention behind it, that I now, there is a more and more eagerness in my life to make it a part of my life, but not only keep on talking about it. Yeah, so that's a beautiful intention I could sense behind that. Grant that I may become thy faithful servitor. And if one can just stay there with the lines, I think nothing else needs to be there. Yeah, and that is the case with each word of illumination, each word that brings us from darkness to light. Hmm? Yeah. So any comments? Else we will ask Shreya to share her prayer. Any comments?
And that faithful servitor, no, that is the thing you are doing. Actually.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think all of us in their own
Yeah.
accord. Yes. Thank you, Chitraji.
Yeah.
So anyone else at this, or Shreya, then you can go ahead. I'll share the prayer on the screen, what Shreya wants to share. January 3, 1914. Yes.
Okay, I just randomly went through the PDF that Monica had shared, and I just stopped here because this prayer at that time deeply resonated with what I was feeling. The prayer goes like this: it is always good to look within oneself from time to time and see that one is nothing and can do nothing. But afterwards, one must turn one's eyes to thee, knowing that thou art all and thou canst do all. Thou art the life of our life and the light of our being. Thou art the master of our destinies. Um, there are often times when I'm very confused, feeling lost, and I think these lines, I've come back to these lines many a times in the last few weeks, and they're very comforting. And they help me remind myself that that there is a bigger plan, that there is somebody bigger than me, the divine, who's taking care of everything, and I don't have to worry about every little thing that is happening or will happen tomorrow or will not happen tomorrow. And I personally take comfort in the fact that there is a divine grace who who is taking care of things, and things are just how they should be. That's all that I have to say.
Beautiful, Shreya. Yeah. This hopelessness of the ego is so beautiful, it's so delightful, because yeah, I don't know, I don't even have a because. This nirasha that our egos, go through when our plans begin to fail, our so-called future does not, hold true for us. It has so much of beauty. जैसे हम बात करते हैं, इनफैक्ट I have shared with Taru many a times that we should sometimes, maybe do these circles or sessions where we dissect the myth beyond these words that we use. For example, hopelessness. Hopelessness is considered usually very negative in nature. But the hopelessness of ego, knowing that yes, none of my plans are going to work out, or maybe even if they work out, this never ending incompletion still stays with me. This is such a beautiful thing to happen in this lifetime. And that only opens our porosity to, something higher than us, something higher than the ego or the limited personality that we are. So this is really very, very beautiful, what you shared. Yeah. Anybody else would like to share? Yeah.
Yeah, it is the humility, no? Actually, what the
Yeah.
hopelessness of the ego is, that humility. Because I mean, one of the saying is there in front of me, mother saying, I will read that: a precise, exact, living sense that one is nothing, one can do nothing, understand nothing without the divine. That even if one is exceptionally intelligent and capable, this is nothing in comparison with the divine consciousness.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. Very much in alignment with what Shreya shared. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
beautiful. Actually, hota kya hai that as long as we are doing so-called well in our life, this humility does not develop that yes, there is something higher than me, which is making me do whatever, I am doing, so-called. But the moment I begin to fail, my plans begin to fail, there is so much of burden that comes on the being that there is no choice but to then call the divine or then open up to this higher power. And this higher power is very much one with us. But for the ego, this higher power is not one with the ego, because the ego lives on separation. So, owing to the fact that the ego lives on separation, and most of the time in our life, I am as living as a slave of the ego. For me, then these words become necessary to use. That yes, there is a higher power which is looking after things, and I do not need to carry the burden of things, whether they are turning in favor of so-called my images or not in favor of my plans. So जब ये उल्टा पुल्टा होता है लाइफ में, तब बड़ा इजी होता है ओपन होना. लेकिन जब सब कुछ अच्छा अच्छा सो कॉल्ड मेरी इमेजेस के हिसाब से हो रहा होता है, तब इतना आसान नहीं होता है टू बिकम पोरस टू द ग्रेस दैट इज ऑलवेज देयर. So that is the beauty, of this hopelessness. Yeah. Anyone else would like to have any further comments on this? One thing which I would like to point out here is there are many times, our swabhavas are different, natures are different as we are born. For most of us, or for some of us, many times what happens is, first I know that things are not going really well in my life, right? I know that all that I had planned may be shattered, got shattered and all that. So there is this hopelessness comes. So there's a dip, as if I fall from a summit into the depth of this depression, and then I'm not able to rise to the fact that there is a higher power. Why? Because the overpowering nature of inertia in us is so strong. And this is in reference to those of us who have this tendency to develop depression very easily, fall into guilt and shame very easily. तो उसमें क्या होता है, ये तो दिख जाता है कि मेरे प्लान्स काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो डिप हो जाती है, होपलेसनेस आ जाती है. बट द राइजिंग अप फ्रॉम दैट होपलेसनेस, सेइंग दैट यस बट आई कैन डू, यू कैन डू, you are the one who has some higher plan, that does not happen very easily in those of us who have a lot of inertia in the being. So, I don't know why I'm reflecting on this, but it just came to me that I see many of us here where this hopelessness is there, yet this emergence from the hopelessness, that yes, there is something more intelligent than me on which I can bank upon. That does not happen that easily. And then again, the divine has ways to poke us, which are then used as tools to kind of sway us from the inertia. Yeah. So shall we yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Chitra ji,
true.
please.
Yeah, actually, when I was in a big crisis and also into depression somewhat, I heard a talk like this actually about Ramana Maharishi. That talk was that he was telling when that problem was coming like that, like I mean, which should overpower you, you can just tell the Lord alone exists. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. Lord. So I repeated it in front of Mother and Sri Aurobindo's pictures. Lord and Mother alone exist. I repeated like mad, actually, like an idiot. Then really, then next day I could,
Yeah.
I mean, I could gather myself and resume my day-to-day works actually. So they really, when you were
Beautiful.
explaining, yeah,
Yeah.
explaining that, it reminded me that state actually. I got.
Yeah, yeah. Chitra ji, for that madness to be there,
Yeah.
that madness is the one that pokes us from that inertia of falling into the, trap of depression. So it's beautiful if one can use that madness at, a certain stage whenever needed.
It is like a mantra only. If,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. So in absence of anything else, yeah, Shreya, please share.
I just wanted to continue the
Ah,
thought that you
please.
just shared, that when we are stuck, it's true, I have seen it with me as well, that I don't feel the grace then. It's only almost, when the dark night is getting over, that something in me is able to see that grace, almost sort of in retrospect. But in the middle of the night, it's very difficult. It's
Yeah,
very difficult, and I have to reach out to, other people or other things that can help me sort of survive that night.
yeah, yeah. Totally with you. Yes. I think we may call them other people or other books or, other words, but in essence, since the fact that all is one, it is just pointers from that one only to poke us away from, going deep into that ट्रैप ऑफ इनर्शिया. सो आई थिंक मुझे तो लगता है कि जो भी उस समय पे बेनिफिशियल हो पाए, जो भी उस समय पे यूजफुल हो पाए टू ब्रिंग लाइट इन टू माई डार्कनेस, so that I understand why on earth the darkness is there at the very first place. Not that I want to run away from it, just to understand the very darkness that is there. If that light can come from any source, I think that is something which we must make use of and not say no to. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Taru, you unmuted. You want to share something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that, what Shreya was just talking about, like, those darknesses and those when we are in, say, when Chitaji used the word depression, like, I have seen that usually when something happens, we form a chain of things around it. Like, if this has happened, this means this, and then this would lead to this, and this means I am doomed, something like this. Like, we don't, again, like you were saying, you say that we don't stay where we are, we don't stay with whatever is, we add a lot ourselves to it that pulls us down again and again. I mean, of course we can't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it many a times, but if we are able ever to cut that chain of thoughts or that linkings that are there in our conditioning that from our past,
yeah,
it really helps in kind of getting through that thing. Yes, this has happened and this means nothing.
yeah,
I don't know what it could mean.
yeah,
Like, if so, that really for me, it kind of reduces the drama
Yes, yes, yes.
of the,
Very true.
yeah.
Very true. Very true.
And yeah, I also wanted to share one thing about, the prayer that Shilpi had shared. I don't have that in front of me right now, but it talked about I move beyond wonderment. Do you know how, like, do you remember which prayer I'm talking about?
Let me just share it on the, yeah, March 28.
Yeah,
Just a
so
second.
usme, in the sense, just wonderment, and I'd heard something really beautiful on wonderment and gratitude. It's like
Yeah.
when you hear something beautiful, you go in awe that, oh my God, wow, how did this come about? Or this person has said this, wow, like my head bowed to him in full gratitude and stuff. So there it said that is also a trick of ego to not let you kind of grasp the meaning of things, rather just kind of get you into the illusions of gratitude and wonderment,
सही है, बिल्कुल.
and you lose the essence. But उसमें इतनी वो एक high feeling आ जाती है कि wow, this is amazing, and you just move from there. You don't stay there and grasp what was supposed to be grasped. And it sounds pretty weird that how can we do that, right? But it happens. So that's also something that like, obviously feel grateful, obviously feel gratitude, but don't forget the main essence for which
बिल्कुल,
you,
बिल्कुल,
yeah.
बिल्कुल. Totally with you. Yes, yes.
So that prayer said it very beautifully.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. ये जो आपने बात करी वो मुझे just reminded me of what I think I had shared one poem on the group also, that if I have tasted really the depth of the darkness, then I will not be craving for only light in life. So if I understand why on earth darkness was there at the very first place, not even fully just having a taste of it, तब ऐसा नहीं होगा, then I will be running away from my challenges, क्योंकि मुझे उसी के अंदर वो झलक दिख जाएगी. जैसे कहते हैं ना, कृष्णा likes to play hide and seek. That's what they say, the leela of the Krishna and all that. So this is the hide and seek, that in darkness also he's hiding, and in light also he's there. So in light हमें दिखता बहुत easily है, क्योंकि everything is joyful, all is going according to whatever, light and pleasure and burden free. But when the burden is there, to go to the depth of the burden and to realize that yes, even here I am shown something, as Taru was sharing, that if I really get in touch with what was being shown to me, then in moments of future to come I will not find myself running away from that darkness. लेकिन वो एक बार का टेस्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है, कम से कम एक बार का. तो let me just Shilpi, if you are there and if you can speak, this is the prayer that you had shared, so if once you can just read the prayer, March 28, 1914. If you can't read the prayer, then somebody else can. Are you there, Shilpi?
Hi, Monica. Yes, I can read it.
Ha.
From the time we started, and every day more and more, in all things, we can see thy divine intervention. Everywhere thy law is expressed, and I need all my inner conviction to feel that this is perfectly natural, so that I do not pass from wonder to wonder. At no moment do I feel that I am living outside thee, and never have the horizons appeared vaster to me, and the depths at once more luminous and unfathomable. Grant, O divine teacher, that we may know and accomplish our mission upon earth better and better, more and more, that we may make full use of all the energies that are in us, and thy sovereign presence becomes manifest ever more perfectly in the silent depths of our soul, in all our thoughts, all our feelings, all our actions. I find it almost strange to speak to thee. So much is it thou who livest in me, thinkest in me, and lovest.
Yeah,
And
thank you
this
so much.
prayer is written by mother just before that day, no? March 29th. She was going to meet Sri Aurobindo.
Yeah,
1914, yeah.
yeah.
So that is very meaningful actually, this prayer.
Beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. So, shall we call it a day, all of us? Is it okay if we stop here? Or is there anything else? Okay. So, I don't see anyone unmuting. That means that's okay. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing and reflecting. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.